Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Teach Astronomy. I started my intro, and there was a little person that followed, and it spooked me. But my name is Victoria, but you can call me Vicky. And welcome back to Dungeons and Dragons in Space. I'm just going to pass it over to Grant, actually, because Grant can start us off here.
Sounds like a plan, everybody. Welcome back to our second mission. We have two continuing players and one new player, so we're going to kind of play a little bit of back and forth ping pong here, and we're going to go around and have our players introduce themselves and their characters. So, Vicky, go ahead and start.
All right. Also, just a quick shout out. The person that followed when I started my intro is Leaf Presses Buttons. Thank you so much for following, and welcome to the Teach Astronomy family. You are treasured. Also, hi Lynn Jersey and hi Rose. How you doing? My name is Vicky, like I said, but my character is Kypris Kai. She is a pilot, and it's been a while since I've done this intro, so we're just gonna briefly look at. And she's an heirloom human. I knew that. I just forgot what the other thing was that I was supposed to say. Which means that she's a pretty basic human, classic human in this strange futuristic world of ours. She's fun. She has pink hair. I have blue hair. So that doesn't help, but that's it, really. And last time she died a lot.
She almost died a lot.
Like 4 times.
I mean, yeah, it's a little crazy.
Yeah, I tend to throw myself into danger, and you know what? It doesn't always work, but that's okay.
She was a great distraction for all the robots and aliens.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kyle or Matthew, who's next?
Take your pick.
Matthew, go for it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Matthew. It's my first time here, so I'm excited to play. This is going to be fantastic. I haven't actually, other than our practice session, I haven't played D&D in a while. I'll tell you a little bit about my character. So my character is Dr. Aeronox, and I am a cephalopod variant human, cephalopod dominant human variant, and I have a strong background in emergency medicine and exobiology and field medicine and those kinds of things. I am excited to be playing here. And looking forward to meeting all of those of you who are on with us today.
Having a field medic is going to be very, very useful, I suspect. Kyle, your turn. Go for it.
And I'm Leaf in the Wind. I'm your resident hacker, psionic adept, and a variant B human, also known as an elf. I am not the sturdiest of individuals, but I make up for it by being quite difficult to hit.
Always a good trade-off.
I feel like you also
and
need
I'm
to.
good with animals.
You're too good with animals.
We're not going to talk about buttons.
Okay. Well, I feel like after someone called Leaf Presses Buttons has followed the channel, it's kind of a necessary thing to explain for the new people.
That was actually me.
That was you. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Uh-huh.
It's hilarious.
That way Leaf can talk.
All right.
Okay. So, that being said, Matthew's character is brand new, so he's all leveled up accordingly. However, both Kai and Leaf have leveled up in between sessions. So are there any highlights you want to share with the stream about what new things your character can do, what might be different from last time? I think we know one thing that might be different with Leaf.
Yeah, so Leaf now has 7 hit points.
Is that an increase?
It was 4 for the entire first story arc.
Shockingly. I thought it was 5.
It was 5.
It was 5. Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, it very rarely was actually 5.
Yeah. And shockingly, he wasn't the one who was constantly almost dying.
I died in the practice round, and I don't think I've died since.
Yeah.
I've also picked up a new skill during this long nap, which I think might be more fun to find out about in the course of events.
Yeah, you can share whatever you want, so that's perfectly fair. And what has changed with Kai?
Kai has a great new weapon that she's and multi-tool, really. I know you keep saying it's not really a weapon, it's a multi-tool, but it shoots things, so it's a weapon. I'm very excited. It's the Coalition of Alok multi-tool, and I'm absolutely thrilled. I know that's not even like the most exciting thing with my level up, but I just wanted to remind everyone that I have a big thing on my fist that can shoot particles stuff. It's great. But as far as like actual skills that I got and things, I'm now looking at the skill sheet and I'm trying to remember which ones Sorry, somebody just threw something outside my window and it spooked me. I think I just got a little bit better at piloting and shooting. Rootin' tootin' shooting and piloting, if I remember correctly. I'm a little better at what I was doing before. Basically.
Awesome, and that's kind of just how things work. So, that being said, we're going to jump right in here. And as with last mission, I have a question that I asked all 3 of my players to consider before the game. So the question, so that the audience is aware, is what was home like for your character before you joined the crew of the Endurance? And just gonna roll 1d6 here. We're gonna start with Kyle in this case. So Kyle, what was home like for your character before you joined the Endurance?
Well, after the United Government of Earth told me that I was no longer allowed to touch computers on their planet, I traded library access for no longer hacking their, tracking bracelet, and started digging into psionics, which is where all of these fun powers that you've gotten to see come from. And in fact, during this nice long nap that we've been having in between missions, Leaf's been doing a little bit of dreaming and has figured out a way to possibly combine some of those powers with his other passion, which is historical scroll work and calligraphy in particular. So you may find that Leaf can now create psionic tattoos.
Ooh.
As soon as you tell Kai that, she's gonna want one. I just want to let you know. It doesn't even matter if it doesn't work.
Oh, they do things.
Okay, cool. That's exciting. I want one in real life, me, right now.
Alrighty. Okay, anything else you want to add, Kyle?
No, that's good.
All right, arbitrarily, I'm going to choose Vicky. What was home like for Kai?
That's an interesting question. Home was, for Kai, home is a loaded question for Kai, is the answer. Right before the Endurance, home was, what's the word? Not stable. She moved around a lot during her time on Earth. So very short stays here and there, didn't really have a place. And then she found Endurance. She was like, that sounds good. But before that, on her home planet, because she's not from the Earth, home was not stable in a different sense. She was, she did not have a great I don't know how much I want to say, but she did not have a great relationship with her parents. And they expected a lot out of her that she could not give and didn't want to give. And she was a bit of a rebel. And that's why she left home. So home's been a thing that Kai's been looking for, I think. And
Very
she's
cool.
hoping that she's found it on the Endurance.
We'll see. We shall see.
Yeah.
If she survives.
Yeah. God, don't kill her, please.
All right, and Matthew, what was home like for the doc?
Home was sort of, well, he lived on a water world under the surface. I lived at home. Well, like I lived on a water world under the surface with the rest of my family. We were well off, and I studied medicine, and I always wanted to be the top of my field. And although I enjoyed, where I was from, I always had sort of the bug to explore. And, so I left my life and ended up here.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, with that being said, I will start weaving the story for you guys. So, some of you have been in cryo longer than others. Most of the time, it's kind of a just, you get really cold, you're out, and then you wake up by getting warm again. But sometimes you do encounter a situation where you do seem to dream, and that ends up happening to all three of you. So, Matthew, in your case, your character kind of ends up dreaming a little bit about home, only there's something different in this under the sea world that you live in, where you're literally able to go out into the ocean and breathe just fine. It's just like stepping out of your door here on Earth into the open air. However, in your dream, there's no one else there. It's oddly quiet. You don't hear sea life. You only hear just the sound of the water. In whatever sensory whatever it is that allows you to hear underwater. What in this dream, what does your character do?
Well, I'm worried. Typically my homeworld is teeming with life. When I wake up, there's people in my dwelling. There's my family, there's servants, there's always people around. And so I'm concerned. I immediately, start walking around my dwelling. I walk outside and I swim off in search of, the people who are obviously missing.
Okay. You swim off and you notice something. You notice a cave in one of the underwater mountains that you don't remember seeing before. It's dark, you can't really see inside of it, but the kelp forest that you're in kind of just opens up into it.
My homeworld has always been very safe. I'm going to swim right in.
Brave.
You swim right in, and the darkness swallows you, and you don't remember anything else. Now, Kai.
Yeah.
In your dream, for everyone who knows, I know a little bit more about Kai's story than she let on.
Grant knows a lot about Kai's story.
So I'm gonna say we're on your homeworld, the place you grew up, probably during one of your rebellious stages as a teenager, and you don't remember exactly what memory this is. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you're kind of running out to the dock that your parents own, and hop into one of the submersibles, shut it down, power it up, or shut the door, power it up, and just go. It's the middle of the night. It's hard to see. You're just surrounded by the inky blackness of the ocean. Where do you go?
I think I try my damnedest to go to a port that leads, like a port that has ships that leave world.
Okay. You start doing that. You feel the familiar, almost comforting rumble of this submersible responding to your orders. However, you start feeling the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end.
Oh no.
And you don't hear anything, but you sense a presence behind you in the back of the submarine. And you distinctly remember seeing nothing when you climbed in this dream. What do you do?
What I'm not gonna do is turn around because I don't want to see. Kai doesn't want to see if there's something behind her. She's just gonna say, "If this is your submarine, I'll give it back. Just gotta get somewhere first, okay? You don't have to kill me. Okay, person in the back seat."
As you say that in the dream, all you hear is your voice, and then all sound vanishes and the submarine goes silent. All the power goes out. You are left with nothing but a red emergency light blinking on the dashboard and the sound of breathing. Kyle!
Jesus Christ. Lynn Jersey I just want to share, Lynn Jersey just said Vicky's in Phasmophobia again. That's basically, yes, what you described as being hunted by ghosts. So, fun.
Yeah, no, I'm channeling that a little bit. Channeling. Anyway, Kyle. I don't have as many specifics to go for with you, so I'm just going to improv all of this. You dream that you're maybe in not necessarily the best part of the big city in Earth, but you're next to a park. It's a little rundown, maybe a little bit messy around the edges, and you're walking along the shores of a man-made lake. It's kind of quiet. There's city traffic humming above you, but down here at least you have the quiet of night, just the sound of your feet on the gravel path that you're walking along, and the sound of the water lapping next to you. As you continue walking in this, dark, dare I say noir lit night, you are suddenly aware of the sound of the water moving in a way that you are not necessarily expecting. And out of the corner of your eye, you think you see some sort of whirlpool forming in the middle of this lake. What does Leaf do?
Leaf reflexively reaches for his neural link and then remembers that it's been surgically removed, and then reaches for the psionic powers that he's been developing.
All right. What is there a specific one that Leaf tries to channel?
He's supposed to extend his awareness, just to feel around him the way he would have done.
Okay.
For his no longer present augmentations.
Okay. So even with your psionic powers, you would be able to sense that there's life all around you. You'd be able to sense that there's some life in the grass, some life in the trees, and certainly some animal and plant life in this lake. However, as you reach farther out to where you are now fully aware of some sort of whirlpool forming, you sense a void. Nothing. Just dead energy.
Not again.
Okay. That's concerning, but go ahead.
Leaf looks around. No momento. I need to remember what I did here. Leaf looks around. Turns himself invisible and dives into the void.
Okay. You see your physical form shimmer for a second and then disappear, and you dive into the void. and the void swallows you, and you are aware of nothing but darkness.
Why am I the only one who, I'm sorry, question, why am I the only one who didn't get a void but got a murderer?
Was it a murderer?
I don't know, Grant. You tell me. Sounded like it.
So, these are the dreams that are happening shortly before you wake up. And once again, the first thing you're aware of is the rushing of freezing air. Your skin is numb, tingling with the warmth of as you exit cryosleep. The window in front of you in the hatch of your pod is fogged, but as it clears, you can see other stasis pods have also been thawed and stand open. The cryo bay robots are rushing by like crazy. It looks a little loopy right now. Leaf, as you wake up, you notice that a display has appeared in your hatch window. It shows a message. Welcome back to your non-popsicle form, Leaf. Processing of Esh language database complete. Kai, you notice that this time, the blanket you left outside your cryopod is there waiting for you. They chose not to clean it up.
Kai's so happy.
Now, Matthew, does the doc have any kind of habit or ritual that he performs when exiting cryosleep?
I would say that. I mean, I definitely have to take a moment to adjust since I'm, air breathing again. I mean, I prefer to cryo sleep in water, so I have to, do some sort of, preparation for going out into the air and sort of purging myself for for wandering around in the air.
Yeah, essentially, it sounds like you do your character's equivalent to taking a bunch of really deep breaths to kind of give yourself enough of an oxygen reserve to walk around for a little while.
Right, and sort of a meditation, and just sort of I take a few moments, and I don't hop out right away.
Okay. I'm going to say that's probably a thing that when your cryopod was being put together, they thought of. So you have a release that you can hit when you're ready. Kai and Leaf, pretty much as soon as the procedure's done thawing you out, the pod just pops open and raises so you can step out and head over to the locker room and get ready. Now, when you all are ready, the robots do escort you to your locker rooms where your uniforms are waiting, your bright red away team uniforms. Kai and Leaf, yours have been repaired and cleaned since the last time you used them. So any rips or scrapes or burns or anything from the robots and the weasel creatures are no longer a problem.
Just to be clear, are they patched or are these new uniforms?
They don't have the money for new uniforms.
They look a little patched around the edges.
Okay.
I think the only person who would actually show this is Kai, because Kai did get bitten a couple of times and almost partially dissolved and eaten. So Kai, you've got a couple of sizable patches on the arms and legs of your suit now.
That's fine.
However, Matthew, your uniform is pristine. And actually, your uniform is extra special because, as a cephalopod, you have that special ability to camouflage. So your uniform is actually a little bit more high-tech than everybody else's, and it will allow you to do that.
That's cool.
However, I will also say, Matthew, you have your uniform, but they also provide you essentially a spacesuit just right off the bat that will support you comfortably, so you don't have to be breathing air the entire time.
Excellent. Yes. Well, I mean, I get out and I open my pod and I immediately I look for some moisturizer.
You got that?
I
that
really
tub
like
of Vaseline there.
Right. I don't really like being in the open air for very long.
I mean, normal people might think it's cold. You probably think it's freezing. Okay, cool. Yes, Vicky.
Yes, a question. Just for visualization of said uniforms, do we get any sort of little little patch for having done a
Yes.
a job well done.
You actually do notice that you have a away team designation patch now on your shoulder.
Oh wait, what?
Sadly, it is not Mud Pit. Although there is a note on your uniform saying that you can call yourselves whatever you want, but upper management decided to call you away team Dawn's Horizon, naming you after the planet that you had your first mission on.
Okay, so Kai, just to let everybody in on how Kai's thinking when she sees this, she sees the patch, like the designation patch, and it's like, holy shit, we got a designation. And then she sees that it doesn't say Mud Pit, and she's like, no. And then she sees Dawn's Horizon, she says, that's so much better.
All right.
She's excited.
All right. So once you are all prepped, ready to go, you're led to the turbolift. The doors open, and you find yourself. Hang on. What? You find yourselves on the turbolift. I'm looking at my notes, and they're saying something completely different. It's fine. So, Kai and Leaf, you are both aware of this. I don't know if the dock is, but it's about a 10-minute ride to the bridge from the Cryo Bay. Are your characters still waking up, or do you have anything to say? Technically, I don't think Leaf and the dock have met yet.
No, we have not.
I don't think so, because me and Kai and the doc did some practice missions, at least one together. So
That's right. Back in the day. Back in the day, 400 years ago or something like that, because cryo sleep.
I mean, you can ask one of the robots how much time has passed. I mean, first jump, it was 200 years.
Yeah. Are there robots in there with us?
I mean, one of them, I can retcon that you still have one right before the doors close.
Okay. Oh, wait, do you have a, what day is it?
It has been approximately 150 years since your prior thaw.
Sick. Okay. Kai's gonna enjoy this this elevator ride in her mind, processing that information while you guys meet each other.
Got a question from Lynn Jersey, actually. How tall is the dock compared to Leaf?
How tall is the dock?
Do we have heights on these?
I think I left an option open. I just don't know if anyone's ever filled it out.
I have a
But
height.
it's on your character sheet. And if you haven't chosen it, it's fine. This is mostly just kind of a narrative thing.
Yeah, I haven't filled mine out, but I would say I'm a little bit shorter than sort of an average human male, but not by much. So like, 5'8", or sorry, 5'5", something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, that
5'4".
That makes sense. The spacesuit probably adds a little bit to that height because it's got more around it. So,
Sure.
Yeah. Grand total with spacesuit, you probably stand about 5'8".
Leaf's about a head taller.
Okay.
I was apparently feeling metric when I put this in, so I am 1.7 meters. I don't know how tall that is, so give me a second.
It's fine. 1 point.
I don't think that's right. I think I did something wrong.
Not terribly tall. I think 2 meters is about 6 foot though.
I'm not that tall. I'm average.
Yeah. Which I think
2 meters is like closer to 6'8".
5'6" I think.
Something like that. Yeah. Kai's about average. Okay. Yeah, so out of all of you, Leaf is definitely the tall boy out of the group. Leaf, you are entirely in your uniform. However, this other much shorter person walks in a spacesuit, and the turbolift door closes and starts moving.
Do we know? Like, do I know that we're on the same team, or could this just be another person who's?
You wouldn't be thawed out with random people typically, unless you arrived at your destination and there wasn't a need for the away team.
Leaf asks Bessie to pull the personnel files for the mission.
Okay. Do you have any way of looking at this without your computer? Or do you just have the computer open in one arm, randomly typing with one hand? Okay, yeah. Okay. Bessie pulls up a personnel file. And by the way, Matthew, this guy's just randomly standing around typing on a computer during your elevator ride.
I think
Excellent.
Kai's gonna. Oh, I was just gonna say Kai's gonna realize that.
So we're all in the elevator together.
Yeah.
Correct.
Actually,
Excellent.
Leaf looks up. Oh, Kai, it's you again.
Yeah, dude. She like gets out of her. Yeah. Did you not recognize me when we got in the elevator? Did you not recognize when I said hi to you in the hallway when we?
I was a little preoccupied. Holds up Bessie.
Oh, yeah. She just... Oh, Leaf. This is Dr. Ernex. Ernex, Leaf.
Hello, it's lovely to meet you. And Kai, it's you know, I'm seeing you again.
Good to see me. Maybe good to see me again. Okay. All right. Well, this will be fun. Just kind of. Okay.
Nice to meet you. Hey Kai, have you ever thought of getting a tattoo?
Absolutely. Tell me everything.
Leaf turns Bessie around and shows a design he's been like working on.
Hell yeah. We will discuss the details of the design later.
Okay, so when the turbo lift doors finally open at the end, you are in A ring. You start the way the Endurance is built. It's got an aft section with the engines and power generation, forward section with cargo bays and hangars, and then a series of 6 spinning rings in the middle. The cryo bay that you belong to is on ring E, and this turbo lift has taken you all the way to the front on ring A, where the bridge is located. As the doors open, you notice that robots and biodroids of all varieties are operating dozens of consoles all around you. You can hear them chattering as they coordinate what seems to be multiple missions at once. Straight ahead of you, the briefing table is surrounded by 4 people. One is familiar, a holographic form of Admiral Thomas Wadsworth Kane, perpetually looking tired and taller than any other person should be. Major Dossie is also there in his red away team uniform. And Chief Quirin's head is still barely clearing the table because she's short but mighty.
Just to be clear, Leaf hides Bessie before we get out of the lift, because we have to maintain appearances here.
Okay, you hide Bessie. So Chief Quirin glances up, waves a greeting because you guys took good care of her shuttle and brought her back a new one. And there's also a 4th person present, dressed in a white lab coat and gray scrubs. She's a different human variant than you've seen before. She's got exceptionally large eyes and hair that appears to defy reality. The name patch on her coat says Dr. J. Pell. She has her nose currently buried in a tablet. As you step out of the elevator, Wadsworth looks up from the briefing table and says, "Welcome back, OA team. Sleep well."
As well as you can when you're frozen, but yeah. Thanks for the bringing us back, I guess.
I always sleep well. It's lovely to be here. I'm looking forward to serving.
It was a little cold. You should really put some blankets in those things.
See, I told you last time, Leaf. That's why I leave the blanket right outside, and then you just real quick. It's great. Gotta do it next time.
Admiral Wadsworth Kane just gives you a bit of a raised eyebrow and says, "Indeed. Well, we woke you up because we have both Alpha and Beta teams investigating a nearby asteroid field and a derelict starship. However, we have received a distress call from a nearby planet. It appears to be automated and somewhat garbled, but as protocol requires, we must send an away team to investigate, and you are up." A holographic image of a planet appears. It's a little fuzzy, which, I mean, if anyone wants to roll a computer use check really quick to determine why it might be fuzzy, you're welcome to.
Kai would not be the person for that. So.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, here's the bag of dice.
Yeah, what color are we going with?
Okay, tradition dictates.
Oh, jeez.
So many. Dice. I have a new set.
Someone in chat pick a color.
Then Jersey, be quick. Or Rubros. It's the only people I've seen chat so far. Also, while we wait, Lynn Jersey was asking how many elevator buttons did Leaf hit? How long did this ride take us?
Leaf was busy hitting buttons on Bessie.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leaf hit many buttons.
She said blue.
Blue it is.
All
It's
right.
got a bit of green in it, but
You'll be fine.
that's a 19.
A 19. It is fuzzy because you suspect there is a lot of distance between the Endurance and this planet. So you're gonna, when you do leave, you're gonna be traveling for a little while. It's gonna be a road trip. So yeah, the planet.
Leaf waves his hand over the screen and says, "Enhance," knowing full well that that's not going to do a damn thing.
the screen does nothing. It just kind of flickers for a second.
I'm interested in more information about, are we able to, are there indigenous life forms? What do we know about the planet?
The officer in the scrubs looks up from her datapad and says, "There is a high chance of biomass on that planet. All of the scans indicate it. You are heading to an ocean world, though, so be prepared for that. Ocean life can be primordial or highly advanced. So,
Yeah, that
plan
does kind of cover
accordingly."
the spectrum.
Well, we know so very little about life in this part of the galaxy. It's just hedging our bets.
Where are we right now? It's been 150 years since we've been conscious, so I would love to see a map.
Major Dossie speaks up and says, "Well, I mean, my understanding is we stopped for fuel a couple of times, and a couple of the other teams were woken up to go investigate things. So, really, we're not as far as we could be. We've spent about 10 years just looking around, checking things out, gathering some spare parts and stuff like that. We're maybe another 60 light years on, give or take. As far as specific locations, our designation for this place is a really long and complicated number that I don't want to read out.
That's fair.
Now that we have the language database for the coalition that Esh gave us on your first mission, we've translated the name of this planet to Pale Abyss. It's apparently the only planet they had an interest in this particular solar system, which is interesting, seeing as we've got a whole asteroid field and a ship out here that we're checking out as well. But yeah, it's just an automated distress signal. Let's see.
So this is not part of our Federation, and we've had no unmanned probes explore this location previously.
The Admiral speaks up and says, "Indeed, you're correct. Our first observation of this system was at long range. We detected planets within the habitable zone and intended to survey it to see if this was a good place for the Endurance to stop and set up the colony. We are unsure as of yet. We don't particularly want to set up a aquatic colony, although it is on the table. So far, however, we are the, well, we want to keep our options open for the entire crew. We're not entirely putting the options off the table, but if this coalition has a claim on this world, we should abide by that. That being said, we are the first human contact with this solar system."
You said there was a distress signal. Oh, but it's not human.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Correct.
That makes sense.
There was a distress signal. We do have a partial translation. However, we have attempted responding over the last 18 hours and received no reply. There's a moment while the Admiral's visage flickers for a moment. He appears to be accessing something, which I am attempting to access now. Hang on, where'd it go? And a distress call starts playing, and it's roughly translated. You hear alien speech, and then a few seconds later, you hear the essentially translation for it. It says,
"To any Legion outpost, Pale Abyss, we require aid. There is proceed. Stream caution.
and it starts repeating.
Great.
That was really good, Grant. I just have to say that was very good. That was a good.
The wonders of technology.
That's cool. I'm in it now.
Leaf would approve.
Yes.
Indeed. Indeed.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes.
All right, so mission is to go down and see what's up.
Major
basically?
Justice says, yeah, essentially, your mission is to render aid. This is a potential first contact scenario, so, best behavior, as always. I'm sure you guys will do fine. You did great with Ash, our friendly AI. That being said, he glances over at the chief engineer, and she says, yeah, we don't exactly have a FTL-capable craft right now. Teams Alpha and Beta are both using them. So you're still going to be using one of our shuttlecraft. It'll be about a 2-day journey, but all the shuttlecraft are in perfect condition. You even got a special one that the other team didn't want. So, yeah, I'll show those to you when we get down to the hangar.
That's
Well, I say, well, as this is an emergency mission, I assume that we will be taking sufficient medical supplies to render any aid. We're going to need some kind of craft that can carry significant cargo.
Of course. All of the shuttles have a couple extra boxes of supplies on board them this time, especially medical and scientific and bioscience related, just in case you need to do some basic diagnostics on the people down there. Your medical facility is also fully restocked from the last mission.
cool.
We take pride in making sure your ship's well stocked. We even took some of Leaf's notes and added a couple of extra snacks in the cupboards as well, just to make sure. My understanding is one of your companions last time kind of cleaned you out.
Ate everything. I wouldn't say companion, but yes.
Speaking of companions, where did mine go?
Oh, this is the doctor person, Dr. Pell. Oh, you mean your Xeno creature? Yes. I think you called them Wonder.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Matthew, we got a dog. Because Kyle didn't want to kill something.
Kyle,
And
Leaf
he
did
rolled.
not want to. Leaf didn't want to get eaten, and found an alternative.
But that was the wildest Anyway, it's a very strange dog creature thing. It's not a
Weasel
dog. Grant can explain
Wonder
it.
the Weasel.
Yeah.
There's something. But yeah, Dr. Pell says we've studied them. We studied them just enough to know that they breathe the same atmosphere we do. They really like our trail rations for some reason, and we did a little bit of R&D and developed a containment suit for them so they can go into whatever environment you do without potentially suffocating or catching a contagion of any kind. Please, for the love of all that is holy, do not take it off of them. We don't know enough about Wonder's biology to treat them if they get sick.
Okay.
Leaf.
Leaf is sitting here thinking, that's the least of our worries if this creature gets loose on an alien planet.
You're right. Leaf.
Yes.
You know I love you. You know I love Wonder. Maybe you don't know that. Maybe I don't know that. But maybe the safest thing for Wonder would be leaving him here.
We would take excellent care of Wonder, and it would give us a chance
They
to
would.
study them a little bit more now that the entire research staff has been thawed out for a few weeks.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, but what is life without some risk?
Do
Where's
you
the
want to risk?
adventure?
Do you want to risk your giant toothy alien pet?
I
It's a
assume
water
this-
world.
Oh,
Can he swim?
I-
We don't know. Anyway,
Can he swim?
they don't know.
We haven't tried.
Can we take a detour by the pool first? Just
We definitely don't have a pool. Okay, I guess maybe we do. We have cephalopods.
we'd better have a pool. That's just
If you ask, can we take?
Leaf looks at our Leaf. What
Yeah.
was your name again?
Oh,
I've already forgotten.
Yeah, you can't see these. I'm sorry. Aronax, right? Or is
That's
that who's-
Aranex.
Yeah.
Aranex?
Aranex.
Yeah,
Dr.
like,
Aranex.
yeah, Leaf looks at it. Dr. Aranex is like, we'd better have a pool.
Yeah, do we?
I mean, they're pool facilities. It's just they're not necessarily ready to go right now.
Let's leave Wonder for now.
But
He's not
What
going to be
is-
able to get out of the ship, Leaf. We can't. I'm not leaving him on my shuttle. He's got big teeth, and there's a lot of wires.
yeah, but he prefers snacks.
Yeah, but he's not going to be watched. I'm sorry. You need to train your
Fine.
dog before I let him in my house by himself.
Fine.
Thank you.
We will take good care of Wonder, don't you worry. And who knows, by the time you're back, we might know a few things about them.
Okay. Leaf is like visibly forlorn.
It's going to be
Uh,
okay.
The other doctor also says, by the way, I will also be available via quantum comms while you are down there in case you run into anything that you've never seen before. I'd much appreciate it if you shared. I am, of course, at your disposal.
Cool.
Absolutely.
We get a real.
Do the
family
doctor and
friend this
I know each other?
I think you know her by reputation. She is a well-renowned xenobiologist, and earned her place as head of the scientific group on board this ship.
Excellent. Well, of course, I have a similar interest in exobiology, and we'll be transmitting all of the findings, regularly. And I look forward to returning with, new information.
I look forward to your data and any samples you gain. The Admiral glances around for a second and says, are there any further questions?
Yeah, can I see Wonder before we go?
Of course. We will make that happen.
Thank you.
Oh dear. Okay, so Major Dossi, Dr. Pell, and the Admiral just stare around the briefing table, start talking about something entirely different. You hear Alpha Team come up, and I'm willing to bet at least one of you rolls your eyes. And Chief Engineer Quarren kind of just leads you to the turbo lift and warns you to magnetize your boots and starts taking you to the hangar bay. And as she says, and as the doors close, she says, so, you do have an extra shuttle now. The shuttle is the same one you got from that last mission. It's a cargo shuttle. Received a full refit. I will warn you, though, for whatever reason, Major Dossi insisted that we name it the Jack Burton. I don't know why. He said it was the Jack Burton. I don't know why. He said it was some sort of reference to some cult movie from way back when, but
Leave?
apparently that's a thing.
This is your department.
Hopefully I got the reference right.
No idea what that is.
That being said, the rudimentary lathe is all ready to go for you. She is tip top, perfect shape. Thank you for bringing her back that way, by the way.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I went to pull up the sheet with all the shuttles on it, and then I accidentally made our Zoom disappear for just a second. It's fine. Everything's fine.
All right. Oh, and just a heads up. Be careful with the quartermaster, as always. T0DD has installed another personality module, and just please, for the love of God, leave. Try not to confuse him this time. It took so long to fix that room. You have no idea how difficult it is to pull a combat knife out of pure titanium. It's bad. And don't get me started on the shelves that were all mangled. I had to recycle them.
For you, I'll try.
Thank you.
Matthew, I'm assuming the doc would not know what we're talking about right now, but I need you to know that the last time we went to talk to Mr. T0DD, otherwise known as Todd, the person who, the robot who gives us equipment.
Stuff.
He has like the base personality modifier and then like a nice personality modifier. And Leaf decided to keep clicking back and forth on the buttons and broke the poor robot as he was just trying to give us our things. So
It might have activated its murder mode.
maybe a little.
Got it.
Fine.
So
First roll of the game, by the way, was Leaf avoiding getting crushed underneath shelving.
Well, I'm mostly not paying attention. I'm looking through the inventory, making sure that we have everything. And then other point of order, Grant.
Yes.
I assume that there's, like how did the, like what's the organization of these teams and these missions? I assume that there's somebody who's in charge. Are there ranks? Are there officers? Like, how are we structured hierarchically, or is there no hierarchy?
That is a very good question. You know from reputation and from working with one or two of the other teams that they have a clear command structure. Alpha and Beta team both have a team lead. You're not so sure about this team. You, as a field medic, you kind of went between teams a few times. Generally, and this goes for all of you, generally your understanding is that really whoever's willing to take charge is the person that ends up being in charge with this particular team. So it could be up to you guys who's actual team lead. To be perfectly honest, Kai kind of jumped into that role a lot.
I would argue
time.
that the
It
pilot
better be God.
is automatically the lead. I'm the pilot.
I mean,
Well,
it's
you
up-
don't want
it's up
Leaf
to
to
you.
be the team lead.
No, that would be disastrous.
We'd all die.
Lovely. If
I say,
that
but
would-
and in my experience during the last during our training mission, once we're on the ground, the pilot hasn't demonstrated a lot of additional.
I'm sorry.
skills.
I would like to bring up that during our this is in character, I'm assuming. I would like to bring up that during our training mission, Doc, I was the one to risk my neck multiple times to reunite the small baby strange being with the large adult strange being.
the polar cat.
Thank you. I also fixed our ship.
Absolutely, I definitely. I don't mean to suggest you are without skills.
This is going to be interesting.
It
So,
is.
as this conversation continues, and maybe the Doc and Kai are just staring daggers at each other for a minute, the lift slows and comes to a stop and opens up into the hangar. And you immediately notice, Kai and Leaf, that the ships you saw under construction last time, they're gone. And a couple of new ships are under construction. Their proverbial keels have been laid, and that's just about it. They look to be about the same size. They're definitely multi-crew ships capable of traversing longer distances and large enough to house an FTL drive. But they're a long ways away from being usable right now. They're not even skeletal yet. Now, that being said, Quarren does point it out and say, one of those might be yours at some point. We'll see. I'm in the middle of negotiating that with the captain right now, but we'll figure it out. She points over her shoulder to the row of shuttles that you remember from last time. And Doc has probably seen this too, because you've been on actual live training as well. And there's a series of 7 shuttles in a nice, neat little row next to the main hangar door. You will get to those in a minute. They're all different colors and pretty and fun stuff. Quarren leaves you at the entrance to the quartermaster's office. You enter the code to the blast door that holds that keeps the quartermaster's office separate. And as you step in, you notice it's not fully repaired. There are still dents and scrapes in what would otherwise be an immaculate white floor. The door that opens kind of ratchets a little bit and halts and then continues moving. You notice there are sizable dents and cut marks in the inside part of that door. You'll also notice that a couple of the waiting benches have been replaced. You also notice that at the far end, the counter's still there. There are still rows and rows of shelves in the background, full of everything from ropes and sleeping bags to missile launchers, as always. You're not sure why they've got missile launchers, but they do. You also notice, oddly enough, that there are a bunch of pool noodles and lifesavers and other flotation equipment scattered in bright colors amongst the other stuff. When you take a closer look at the counter, it now has 3 buttons. One is labeled Standard Service, one is labeled Experimental Mode A, and the other is labeled Experimental Mode B. And it looks like they've been labeled with what appears to be permanent marker and tape. Next to them is the now slightly battered nameplate that reads T0DD space L3 space NTABT. Which button do you press?
Leaf starts to walk over to the buttons.
Kai grabs him by the back of the shirt and goes, listen, I know you love to press buttons. I'm gonna let you listen. I'm gonna let you do this. You press it once. You can pick it. You can pick. I'll let you pick it. You press one button one time. If you press anything else, I'm going to throw you out of the ship. Okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry, so we're in the shuttle now? This is all the description inside the shuttle, or was this just the bay where the shuttles are?
You're in the quartermaster's office. It's just off of the main hangar bay.
Right, okay, got it, I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, I'll throw him off when we're on the shuttle. This is a later threat. Threat for later.
I guess I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna look over at Kai and very carefully press experimental mode B.
That's fine. I said once.
Okay.
Click.
Kai's honestly a little intrigued. She just doesn't want us to destroy a room again and then eventually be charged for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Somehow.
You press the button and hear a buzzer in the back of the room. After a moment, you see a humanoid form hobbling toward you. It is the same biodroid, an older model without the human-like features that you're used to. Their face is kind of blank. They have white polymer plates that cover their endoskeleton, and you can see a few errant wires hanging out at joints and other odd places. They stop at the counter, glance between the 3 of you with glowing yellow eyes this time, and there's an unnerving twitch as they stand there watching you.
Todd, it's been so long, you look great.
They tilt their head to the side and say, hang on.
Greetings. What are you buying?
They don't blink, and they just stare at you.
Is there a list somewhere of what we can buy?
It's in the reference sheet.
Okay, I'm finding it. Is this general
What do you
equipment
buy?
list?
What are you buying?
Okay. It's a long list. How much money do we have?
You've been given 90 credits, or 90 requisition credits each to work with.
Each? Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. That's so much money.
As you're deciding, the robot reaches under the counter and says,
Due to your success over the last mission, you are being granted a few free items. 1 canister of nanogel.
Okay.
Your coalition multi-tool Kai. And a custom spacesuit has been requisitioned for the being known as Wonder, the Weasel.
Wonder, you can keep that. Wonder's not going to be with us this trip, but we'll need it in the future.
Very well. Archiving spacesuit.
Thank you, Todd.
Is the nanogel what I
Puts a
think
little
it
thing
is?
on. Thank you, Todd.
you pop the cap on the nanogel, and you see black. You see black goo that looks very similar to the stuff you encountered on Dawn's Horizon. And as you watch, it kind of reaches out toward you for a second and then just goes right back in.
Kai takes several steps back. Doc,
you
have
notice.
Doc, you weren't with us last time. Don't touch that. Don't look at it. Don't breathe on it. Don't. I don't know why Leaf likes it.
Leaf slips it into his bag.
Just don't. It's bad.
You notice that there was a note on it detailing how to use it. Essentially, you tell it to turn into a tool that's typically made of a single material, and it will turn into that basic tool. It can be anything from a hammer to a wrench. It's essentially a multi-tool in potentia.
Just as a refresher for me, Vicky in real life, was that the one that also tried to kill me?
Yes.
Okay, cool, great, yeah.
Yes. It
Hate
very
it.
much tried.
Cool. All right. Who wants
So-
to buy first? What you buying?
What are you buying?
I'm gonna need a minute.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of options this time.
Yeah. So for I'll. Do you want me to list them for chat?
If you want to, I'm also happy to.
Okay. I'm gonna go through them because then it'll help me read through all of them. I'm not gonna read everything, but so for purchase from Monsieur T0DD, we have classic charge packs for our weapons. We have robot repair patches, which won't be super useful to us, I believe, since we don't have any robots on board this time, but might be useful if we find anybody that's a robot. We've got underwater gliders. Ooh, that help you swim. We have a spacesuit aquatic mobility module. That is very expensive. And helps with the swimming. An emergency O2 breather. That also goes in the suit to help us, breathe. The jaws
actually-
of life.
I will say the emergency O2 breather is a separate thing. It's literally a little oxygen bottle that fits into one of your uniform pockets.
Oh, okay.
It's if you're ever caught without your suit.
Gotcha. Okay. That's cool. The jaws of life.
Which is a real thing, by the way.
No, I know.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm a little concerned about why we might need it.
You never know when you might need to break something or pry it open with the force of hydraulics.
I guess you're right. I didn't know it worked with hydraulics. I thought it was just like big.
Oh, you need the jaws of life, but you also need the hydraulic compressor. That's also listed there to make them work.
Okay. So there's a hydraulic compressor as well. Chemical light sticks. By that, does it mean they work underwater?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, so you're
emergency-
talking about glow sticks.
Yeah. Flares will also do the same thing. It's just the difference between the chemical light stick and the flare is the flare will light something on fire.
Yeah.
A chemical light, and it makes noise. A chemical light stick does not.
Cool. Then there's flares. There's an extra nanogel canister, which I for sure don't want. There's some trank darts. And then there's a high-powered comms unit. Cool.
Why do we buy these separately as opposed to having them supplied to us by the Federation?
It's essentially what this is you are given requisition credits to requisition something for your mission.
It's because it's
we're-
D&D.
Because
Yeah,
we're the
because it's-
experts, so we get to decide what we need.
Cool.
Yeah, essentially. You're already given a few things. Your ship automatically has Mark 1 spacesuits. You can ask for a better spacesuit, but you automatically get Mark 1. In fact, that's what you're wearing currently, Matthew. You also automatically have a sample collection kit and a search and rescue kit on board the shuttle, as well as some spare parts. And your characters already have gear that I assume is going to be put on the shuttle ahead of time.
Yeah.
This is just extra mission-specific stuff that you will typically return, although you don't always have to. They'll just put it in storage for when you need it next.
All right. Well, I would like a spacesuit aquatic mobility module.
All right. Go ahead and add that to your inventory page.
I assume that even though I have a spacesuit, it doesn't have necessarily all of those bells and whistles.
I'm going to get an underwater glider. Because that sounds fun.
Sounds good.
Do we have to have a swim speed to start with? Do we have a swim speed?
On a successful swim check, you do. On an unsuccessful one, you just kind of doggy paddle.
Okay.
I'm also gonna get.
Actually, I think out of all of you, I would say Matthew's character's speed also counts as a swim speed, because he's technically an aquatic creature. He knows how to swim. It's just, in this case, the aquatic mobility module will just make him that much better at it.
I'm also gonna get one of the emergency O2 breathers.
Okay.
Because Kai
I have no need.
knows that I know. I breathe air. And I'd like
Nobody's
to keep
perfect.
doing that. Nobody's perfect. And then I'll get I have all these requisition credits left. Give me like how many?
much are the tranquilizer darts?
Oh yeah, wait. They're
For a pack of 10. Oh my goodness.
It's not
Why did
listed.
I do this to myself?
You can just say it's. I went to a. This is not anything that has to do with D&D, but while Grant figures out how much money it'll be, I went to a liquor store the other day to get 2 drinks, and we found a bottle of hot sauce that we wanted. All 3 of these things, when we went up to the counter, were apparently not in the system. So the guy was like, and then just put them down as $2.99 each.
I'm gonna say 15 rec credits for the 10.
You could have done $2.99 though.
I could have, but these are a little. What I'm reasoning is they're a little more expensive than a set of charge packs because they're
And hot
they're
sauce.
a little more specialized.
I get
and
it.
More expensive than hot sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll get a pack of those.
Okay, just 1 pack.
Yeah, because I'm gonna need. Because we have 90 each, you said?
Correct.
I'm gonna get 3 packs of chemical light sticks, aka glow sticks.
How many packs did you say you're getting?
3, so I can divvy them up between us.
Well, I'm gonna get a couple of those. They're
Oh, okay.
cheap, so
Yeah.
I will get. Let's see, how many do I have left? I'll get 3 packs. Yeah, that's good.
Do my empty stim packs have any trade-in value?
I'd give you like a 10% discount on fresh ones if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, where are the stim pack things? Is that
Oh
on
dear.
here?
Did I delete those? Please tell me I did not delete those.
Yeah, I
I-
think you might have.
I am a bad DM.
It's
Ugh.
okay.
Okay.
There's
There's a table for that. Hang on.
Hold on, I have it. Stim pack. I assume these are still packs of 10?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like a class 2, one pack of class 2 stim packs.
While you guys do this, Kai's gonna look at the doc and be like, do you have a weapon? I can't remember. Oh, I remember now. You have a freaking harpoon.
Yes, I carry a spear gun for defensive purposes, and
Got you.
Technically, Kai, you've got just like 3 at this point. You've got the arc pistol, which I think you repaired at some point. You've got your laser pistol with the stun module on. Now you've got the super duper dope coalition thing.
How much is it going to cost me to get ink made out of exotic material?
Ink made out of I swear I noted this down somewhere. I'm gonna say it depends how many tattoos you're wanting to make.
Are you giving me a tattoo now? Oh, we're going on a road trip. We have time.
Uh-huh.
How many are you wanting to make? Because that's gonna govern it.
Enough to give me a tattoo.
At least 2, and probably 3.
Okay. I'm gonna say you've got enough for maybe 2 if you spend the rest of your rec credits. I mean, this is expensive stuff.
Leaf looks at Kai and is like,
I'll split it with you. If you're
Done.
giving it to me.
done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll split 2 with her, with Leaf, or with Kai. I'm flustered.
Yeah.
I'm so flustered.
Okay.
Wait, so how many was that?
So
Nah.
by my calculation, okay, where were you at, Leaf? It was like, oh dear, why am I having trouble mathing?
Give
So
me
it was 15. It was 15 plus the class 2s.
Which was, the class 2s were 6.
Okay, so yeah, round that to like 20. So yeah, it would be 70 for the 2, so 35 if you wanted to split it. I don't know if you've gotten that much, Kai. Because
I have.
That glider was a chunk.
The glider was 50. The emergency O2 breather was 12. That's 62.
So you've
I got
28.
3 light sticks.
Oh, and then how much were those?
So that's
Hang on, math.
They're 1 each, so it's 65.
So you've got 25 rec credits. I mean, you can't exactly split it, but you can. You
Hey,
can
dump your 25 in and...
Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Also, I have a question for you, Grant. This may change if I'm able to actually contribute to the tattoos.
Yes.
I have listed. You can tell me this is wrong. I have listed that I still have 10 charge packs. Pretty sure that's wrong. I don't know how many I used last time, but you can tell me how many.
If anything, I think you used 1.
Oh, great. Okay, so I have 9.
Charge packs actually go a really long way, and I haven't put you guys in combat situations where you're actually going through your entire ammunition supply.
Cool. Okay, then that's
There
fine.
will be times when I do that, but that was not last time.
Okay. I owe you Leaf for like five recs next time. I'll keep
What,
it.
so what do I got? Was that everything?
I mean, that's pretty much everything. You've got enough exotic ink for 2 tattoos. And then you've got the other 2 things that you purchased. Which means I think, Matthew, I think you're the only one with rec credits left over.
And can I just save those, or is it just permission?
It's permission. So it's essentially whatever you've got, you spend it now, and it doesn't really roll over.
Okay, got it. Okay. So let's see. Oh, that's more expensive than I thought.
Me when I go to Target.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, well, not obviously. I mean, probably having some tranquilizer darts would be useful. I mean, do I have a dart gun? Do I need a dart gun?
You don't have a dart gun, but if you want to carry extra to throw at Leaf when he runs out, potentially, it's not a bad idea. Think of them as insurance.
Leaf's only weapon is
Do they work with my
is a
spear
blowgun.
gun?
Technically, no. That if you got darts for the spear gun, they. In theory, you could probably argue that you could have special spears for your spear gun that act like tranquilizer darts. Just Mongo tranquilizer darts that go into your spear gun.
That'd be
If you want,
hilarious.
do you want that, Matthew?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, I don't need anything that. I want to know, like, do I have to carry another piece of equipment?
Yeah, no. I could say that you could get it that way. What's immediately coming to mind is one of the trailers for the new Jurassic Park, where it's this giant syringe stuck in someone's windshield. That's kind of what I'm thinking would be attached to the front of your spear gun.
I love it. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
thank
I'd
you,
like,
Roro.
I definitely need a pack of tranquilizer darts.
Okay.
Roro said Grant's so good at being a GM, and they're right. What a good GM.
Aw.
Let's see here. I
still have to decide my ship.
I mean, you could start looking at that. Go
I've
for
been,
it.
yeah.
It's safe to assume, given that the machine housing Bessie's consciousness was designed for, recon missions, that Bessie is in fact waterproof.
Yes. I mean, this is a point in This is the point in human technology where you can be fairly sure that most of your electronics are going to be waterproof. It would have to be something scratch built and experimental for it to short out, or it'd have to get damaged.
How much are the robot repair patches?
Robot repair patch. Oh, hang on, I'm in the wrong document. That's great.
I still have multiple of those.
Oh, do you?
Oh, you still do?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I mean, here, let me pull that up because I should have it right here. It depends which one you get. Depending on which class, that governs how many dice you roll when doing the repair. So if it's just a basic class 1, for a set of class 1, it's 2 rec credits. And that's just a single 8-sided dice.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think. And then what's class 2?
Class 2 is going to be 2d8 plus 2, I believe, and this is going to be that's the price per patch. So that would be 6 rec credits for class 2.
Oh, actually, kind of important question because we have the coalition multi-tool, right?
Yes.
My inventory still says I have a stasis pack, which we were told, which we were told is powered the same way as the multi-tool.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that now that we've figured out how to power the multi-tool, we can power the stasis pack?
No, it was actually all of those little bits and pieces that you picked up at the end of the last mission. Those were handed over to the R&D division, and
Let me remove that from my inventory.
Yeah, they use that to essentially create scientific breakthroughs that allow you some of the new stuff you've got.
What was the cost for the tranquilizer darts? I need to update.
It was 15 rec credits.
15. Okay.
And I think you're getting pretty close at this point. In fact, let's see.
Yeah. So I've got at 22. So take away 15 from that. So 7 left. So then I'll just take the rest of them. Some. So 2, 4, 6. So I'll take 3 of the robot repair patches.
Okay. And those are class 1s, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Alrighty. So now that you have ordered all of your stuff, T0DD goes back into the back of the quartermaster's office. You hear a lot of rummaging, the sound of stuff getting scooped just haphazardly into a box, and they return with a crate full of all of your stuff. They also, in their offhand, have this massive glider, this massive underwater glider, and they just put that up on the counter as if it weighs nothing. So it does weigh quite a bit, Kai, so it's not necessarily it's not insignificant when you pick it up. And everything else that you ordered is in everything you requisitioned is in that crate. And T0DD says,
Glad to help you today. Is there anything else I can procure?
I think we're good. Thank you, Todd.
Have a safe journey.
See ya T0 double D.
Okay.
all right.
As we walk out, Kai's gonna just give Leaf a little pat on the back and go, "You did so well. I'm so proud of you."
I wanted to press that button so bad.
I know you did. I know you did.
Okay, so you arrive at the shuttles, and you of course have 7 of them. I'm more than happy to go through a description of all of them for you, or I can just describe the one that you choose. Those are also going to be in your reference document closer to the bottom. And the general idea is shuttles 1 through 3. Shuttles 1 through 4 are all streamlined. They've got a bit of aerodynamics to them. They're kind of similar to what you would expect to see from a modern space shuttle. Shuttles 5 through 7 are all kind of boxy. They've got articulating thrusters. They're a lot heavier than the other shuttles, which means they might not be as fast, but they're easier to handle.
What does a synthesis bay do?
The synthesis bay allows you to make chemical stuff.
Ooh. Okay, so I think this will be in character, I guess. Okay, so I was thinking, so we don't really know what we're gonna find here. We're assuming there's some sort of life, because like, why would they give us a little like hello? So at the I'm thinking maybe either the tardigrade, the quantum, out of character now. What is a sealed environment chamber exactly? What does that mean?
A sealed environment chamber is what you put something you want to separate from your environment, or something you want to contain.
Okay.
That might be dangerous.
I don't think that's what I'm looking at right now. I was confused if it was like I don't know.
Were we not assigned the Jack Burton, or was that?
No, that was the one we brought back last time.
Oh, I see. Okay, I thought they assigned us one.
But yeah, I'm thinking either the quantum or the tardigrade. The tardigrade is the life science lab, and the quantum is the physical science lab. What do you guys think? Or I guess we could go with aperture.
What does the physical science lab actually get us?
Physical science kind of gets you a little bit of both worlds. It gives you general science for like chemistry and geology, but it also provides some life science support as well. So it's kind of a general laboratory.
I mean, seeing as we do not know what we're getting into,
Well,
it would be a good idea for us to plan for a variety of contingencies.
So you guys think quantum?
Oh, I'm sorry, quantum. I'm misreading my stuff. No, quantum is the actual like physics lab. My apologies.
yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
General science lab is aperture or shuttle 1.
Oh, so general. Okay. So we can do aperture.
Sure.
You guys want the aperture?
I mean, Leaf wants the one with a tech workshop, but
We're not.
The rudimentary lathe.
I don't want to bring a heavy boy. I want to get there quick. This is not. You said this wasn't that close, right, Leaf?
It's
you're
pretty
thinking
far.
about this all wrong, though. We need time. Leaf points at the ink that he's got sitting there.
Oh, we'll have time. Don't worry. I can control how fast the ship goes. I would just like the option of driving faster. Yeah, let's
Leaf
go with...
suddenly decides that he wants to see Kai let loose and like really just go for it with the fly-in stuff, and is like, yeah, let's take a streamlined ship.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Alright.
So is it the general science lab?
Yeah, give me the aperture.
Who wants to live
All right.
forever?
So shuttle A1 aperture is aerodynamic with twin engines toward the aft side of her hull. She is a bright yellow, and her name is stenciled in black next to the open boarding hatch just behind the cockpit. Inside, you've got cockpit to your right, airlock right behind it. Just behind that, there is a common area, kind of got a bit of a galley, meeting space, and then you've got separate quarters, very cramped, very small, with a narrow hallway in between them. And past that, you have the module, which is, of course, your general science lab. It's got a bunch of different equipment. You can do a wide variety of experiments in there. You also have a fully stocked med bay and a cargo bay, which you notice has a couple of extra containers of medical supplies. All of your stuff is moved on board, including the stuff you just requisitioned. It is secured, and you are ready to go.
Well, and by nature, I'm a pacifist, or at least not a violent being. But I think having some additional defensive capabilities, are there additional weapons on board? Do we, have some, like additional supplies, since this is an emergency situation, I want to be prepared.
You have the medical supplies. You have a place where you can figure out at least some of the basic biology of anything you might encounter. Beyond that,
We have a light particle beam.
yeah, your ship is armed.
The
It's got
ship is armed, but we don't necessarily have personal arms.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
I
you choose.
literally
Your
hold up my
characters-
arm and I'm like, I have this. It's a big weapon on my arm,
Oh,
Matthew.
great.
It should also
It
be
shoots
mentioned
things.
that
I also have, and I pull out 2 guns. These. We're good. Don't worry.
All right.
your pilot is well armed.
I am.
I'm not familiar with the multi-tool.
I am. It's okay. Nobody is. I found it on an alien planet, and it's mine now. It's wild. I'm so excited. Anyway.
It should be mentioned when you were handed the multi-tool by the quartermaster, they also handed you a what looks like recently printed manual on how to operate it safely.
Kai tucks that
you've
away
got-
for some light reading later.
Yeah, you've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
So
Well,
as
we
you
know what the green button does.
Hell yeah, we do.
Uh-huh. All right, so you start up the ship. Kai, you're at the controls. This thing is way flightier than what you flew last time. It responds at the touch of a button.
I love it.
This is like a sports car of shuttlecraft. So pretty much as soon as you're out of the hangar bay, you just essentially shove the throttle forward, and this thing just goes.
Oh yeah, I'm punching it.
However, even with the maximum acceleration you can do without affecting the crew, the computer calculates it's still going to take 2 days to get to this planet.
Oh wow.
Perfect.
Which by today's standards is crazy fast. So, over these 2 days, what do you all choose to do?
Okay, so this is how it's gonna go, right? I literally, like, we sit down, everybody's ready, we strap in, full throttle, I get the estimate from the computer, and it's like, you will reach your destination in 2 days. And I say, sick! I hit the autopilot, I turn around, and I go, Leaf, let's do this!
Hold on, need to go to the science bay.
Wait,
Do I have
what's
any
the...
place to sleep, or do I have to sleep in my suit?
For this mission, actually no, not just for this mission. The quarters are variable. Depending on the variant of human that's in there, they will adjust to you. So, in this case, seeing as you are a aquatic human, it actually
There's a fish tank bed.
essentially, yeah.
Right, that's what
has a-
I hope so.
Yeah,
It has.
If
it has a
not,
fish tank,
seriously,
and-
that's racist.
it is.
And, you actually have options. If you want a fish tank bed, that's technically something more along the lines of what the amphibian variant human does. If you wanted to, it's got the ability to flood the entire room, so you can just walk around in it.
Got it. Okay.
That's cool.
All right.
Kyle had
is
to
there-
step away for a second, apparently.
It happens. Is there anything that the doc ends up doing on your trip over?
Well, I'm fascinated by this tattooing process. Unfortunately, because of the way that my skin works, I can't. Our variants can't really get tattoos because the camouflage it would ruin our camouflage ability, and also our bodies sort of sweep it away quickly.
It'd be a little strange if suddenly against the wall you notice just this random heart with an arrow through it just sitting
Right,
It's mom.
exactly. Or like it's a mom. Exactly. So our variant doesn't really get tattoos. So I'm gonna sit and watch this process to begin with. I mean, we've got 2 days, and so I'm gonna try and get to know my crewmates. Kai, we've trained together a little bit, but Leaf seems like a fascinating
Individual.
example of their species or their variant.
a fascinating anthropological study.
Right, exactly. And I'm interested in life forms of all types.
Very
So
cool.
I sit down more with an analytical eye, like not quite with a notepad, but
Okay.
with that kind of attention.
Okay.
Wait, so Leaf.
Am I being studied?
Not officially.
Yes, you are being studied.
Not officially.
The doc is going to be watching the tattoo process, intrigued. But I'm just a human, so I'm kind of boring. But question for you. In the actual mechanics of the game, when you give me the tattoo, you said this is associated with some sort of power thing. Do we have to decide what the is the tattoo design based on the... Okay.
The tattoo design determines what power it channels.
Okay. Are you going to surprise me, or do I get to pick? Because also, I totally understand if some of the more complicated designs you would mess up, and I would love to not have a messed up tattoo. So
I don't think there was actually a DC for this.
No, it's just time.
It's just time and
cool.
cost.
Okay.
Yeah, time and resources.
Well, we
And,
have the resources.
Yeah, and the other thing is it can be used once, and then Leaf
recharge.
has to recharge it.
It's
A tattoo?
It's a tattoo made with a material that allows it to hold psionic powers.
So do you just like paint it on and then like and like it's a tattoo now or something?
No, we're heading to the science base so I can get needles.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming Leaf just lays out this horrifying array of just needles in front of Kai, and
Kai's
then
seen way worse. It's fine.
Okay. And probably this just iridescent ink liquid that just is sitting there ready to be used.
I'm gonna pick it up and look at it while he's setting his stuff up.
Can I
Actually,
scan
Kai,
it with my bioscanner?
Sure, you can scan it with your bioscanner, and Kai, you notice that even though it's iridescent, it's very black. And as you're observing it, it kind of reaches up and taps the wall of the vial a little bit.
Okay, she's gonna put it down. She's gonna turn to Leaf. She's gonna go, Leaf. Is this the same stuff?
I promise it's not.
It did the same thing that the little, you know, like I don't.
It's just pulling the pattern from your head. Don't worry.
Now, Matthew, what the doc detects on the bioscanner is.
Wait, he has to roll.
Well,
Let's do a roll.
sure. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Let's
It's
get some
technically
D&D in here.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Make me roll for how good my tattoo looks. Like, this is fine. I want to roll these dice.
It's gonna be. Let's just say it's a treat injury check, because this is technically part of the skill in this case.
All right. Sorry, I need to figure out where I am for that. Wisdom plus 11. So, and these are 20-sided die.
Correct.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Roll.
Your treat injury is plus 11? Jesus Christ.
We're gonna need that.
I know.
Yeah. Well, my first roll was 14 plus 11.
That's more than enough. In fact, you actually get a reading on everybody in the room. Kai's heart rate is a little elevated after seeing this stuff move on its own, and you're getting weird readings from Leaf. You're not entirely sure. Maybe the psionics are kind of throwing off your scanner a little bit. However, the stuff in the vial, completely inorganic.
Completely inorganic.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
In fact, you detect one other substance in the room that is showing similar stuff. Your scanner's not exactly designed for this, but it kind of picks up on similarities between this stuff and the canister that's currently sitting in Leaf's pocket.
Got it. Okay.
Which
was originally labeled as, I mean, in the sample collection, or sorry, in the requisition office, that was extra nano gel canister.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to share that information with Kai?
I just flipped a coin.
Oh no.
And so yes.
Okay, so
Leaf takes pity on Kai.
Well, and even if you didn't, I would have commented on, my readings.
We can play that out.
Yeah.
Please.
No, okay, so yeah, I did ask you.
Well, these readings indicate that this is additional nanogel as listed in the requisition office, or the quartermaster's office.
Well, not exactly. I took the idea from Ash of like having the nanogel like responds to your instructions and can become other things, right? So I took that same idea, but instead of being like computery like tech, it does the psionic version of that.
As you say this, her sleeve was up before, and she's just slowly.
It's fine. It's just some exotic material.
I sort of sit down, or I start rummaging through the science lab looking for needles because I want to see this.
I've already got all the needles.
Okay, sorry. So I just start opening things and prepping like a surgeon.
It's some exotic materials in a biocompatible nanomatrix. It's fine.
Leaf.
And I just say proceed.
It almost killed me last time.
I just started handing.
No, it's different. It's a different thing. I made this one.
Its cousin almost killed you.
That one responds to electromagnetics. This one responds to psionics. They're completely different. Leaf says very convincingly.
Kai is having a very difficult time because she knows that she could get a very fun little power out of this and have a very sick tattoo, and she's always wanted a tattoo, and despite all her rebellious phases, she has never gotten a tattoo.
Leaf is like, fine, I'll do mine first.
How are you gonna do a tattoo on your own?
And he pulls out his wrist. He's like, I hear this is the most painful place to do it. And as he dips the needle in the ink, it like follows the needle out of the like container and in like a little stream. And he has this like fierce look of concentration on his face as he starts tattooing a design onto his wrist.
I'm assuming me and the doc are both just like right up against like what?
And this ink that's like blacker than it's blacker than night. It seems to be absorbing energy from its surroundings. Starts glowing as he starts like as he tattoos it.
Does it hurt?
In medical school, in medical school the approach is always watch one, do one, teach one. I'm gonna watch this one.
I love it. Does it hurt?
Leaf doesn't respond because he's too like busy concentrating on not messing up this thing that's suddenly imbued with a huge amount of psionic energy.
That's fair.
So what power are you putting in?
Force screen.
Force screen? Okay. Yeah. What shape does that take?
You know what a Hilbert curve looks like?
Ooh.
A Hilbert curve?
It's a spirally version of that. Let me see if I can. I drew one, but it's not.
Oh.
Kind of fractally.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But spirally, you said?
Yeah, it's that, but more spirally.
Okay. I'm going to show at least a picture of a Hilbert curve to the audience. It is not the more spirally version, unfortunately. If I can... Oh, I have forgotten to add the ability to switch to Chrome. Give me one moment.
Okay, yeah, it goes in, it glows.
And then as I complete the design, it just like the glow just extinguishes, like it's just like sinking in. And then it's just like
here it is.
It just looks like a normal tattoo.
Nice.
For everyone who was curious, that is what his tattoo looks like.
When this isn't a curve, but this is sort of a that's sort of a different
Yeah, the entire thing is one line.
Design of one.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my next question. Do you give Kai much of a choice as to what power she gets? Or are you just gonna say, here, have a tattoo?
That's a great question. Now, we on this podcast are all for bodily autonomy, Leaf, aren't we? So you should give me a heads up on what you're doing to me.
Leaf kind of contemplates for a moment. Goes, okay, let's see.
Can I get like this or that?
Like, yeah, like Leaf's sitting here thinking about like, okay.
Well, and as a doctor, I can't.
What are the
I can't
options?
support anything that's
Oh no,
Like
Kai's
consent
absolutely
consent
getting.
is critically important.
Kai is 100% getting a full explanation here first.
Oh,
Leaf's
good.
trying to figure out what the options even are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Leaf knows better than to go near Kai with a needle without a lot of explaining first.
Appreciate that.
The only time that Leaf ever pokes Kai with a needle without explicit consent is when it's a stim pack and she's unconscious.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
he does that from a distance.
And I've given you express permission to do that in general. So.
And even then, I do it from a distance.
I flail a lot when I wake up, you know. Punch somebody.
So there's some options here. There's we can do let's see. I can give you energy missile, but you'll only be able to use it once.
Ever?
No, I mean like, and then I'll have to recharge it.
Oh, okay. What does that mean? I wonder if Kai would know this, but you know what? Vicky can know this because
Leaf
there's
has
a
never
player's
used
handbook.
it. So
You're
Is the
getting
player's handbook-
experimental power.
Is the player's handbook gonna crash the stream? Maybe I shouldn't open it.
here, give me a sec. I can pull it up. I have a shorter version of this as a quick reference.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
I'm
okay. I got
sorry.
nervous.
My monster is.
I will help you fix
True
that at some
monster.
point.
Oh, is it in Kyle's Abridged Game Guide?
God, I hope so.
It probably is. Okay,
Number-
so missile.
Yeah, but I can choose, I believe, when I when I charge it, which damage type it is.
Cool.
Um,
I do have a lot of weapons already.
do you want something so the question is, do you want something that's a weapon or do you want something that's not a weapon?
I don't think I want a weapon. I know this is a shocking change. It doesn't.
Maybe we
Align
can
with
say that
freaking-
Kai's experiences from the last mission have taught her. Maybe I want to be harder to hit.
Yeah. Generally, maybe me firing the weapons is not the problem. Maybe it is the weapons firing back. Or teeth. Claws. Trucks.
How about inertial
Robots.
armor,
Oh,
which has the added bonus of protecting you from psionic attacks?
that sounds fun.
Okay.
I like. Let's do it.
Where do you want it?
Oh, it depends on what it looks like.
Give me just 1 sec.
Okay.
To draw this for you.
Okay.
Or we could do that later in the interest of time. But it's gonna look like outline of a person.
Oh.
It'll be like a shadowed outline of a person, like a silhouette, with that same type of curve, like the spirally version of that Hilbert curve, but around it as a barrier.
That's
Do
a
it-
fun image.
Do it on the back of my neck. Like on the.
You do have to touch it to activate it, I believe.
Okay, wow.
I should
mean-
double check that that's actually true, but
I can
believe it
reach the
is.
back of my neck, but that's also not the easiest. Would look cool
did we
there,
ever
though,
establish
huh?
that?
What was that, Kyle?
Did we ever establish how you activate these things?
I don't think we've ever had any.
I personally, I assumed it was touch. You have to touch to activate it. You can't just activate it.
Scribe tattoo. Do.
This is exciting gameplay.
Physically activate.
Physically activates. So
Okay.
I would translate that to touch.
Okay.
Which is why I put mine here, so I can slap it. And get
Yeah,
the effect.
that's fine. I'll do like bicep area.
Okay.
Okay.
Leaf pulls out the ink.
I don't like the ink,
It kind of just
but do it.
morphs a little bit in the tube for a second, but it settles down.
Cool. If this kills me, by the way, if this kills me,
I'll be dead too.
that's fair. Yes. But it's already tried to kill me, and it hasn't tried to kill you yet, so.
This one hasn't tried to kill you.
Okay. Just leave the ship on autopilot and just turn it back around, okay? If I go. Do
I'll
it.
put Bessie in charge. Yeah,
Alright.
Leaf pulls out the needle and starts and just like
Doing the thing.
pulls the liquid out, and just because Leaf's a little bit mischievous, makes it like start wiggling a little bit as he pulls it out of the as he uses his psionic power to pull this liquid out of the container.
No.
And starts tattooing starts tattooing a protective power into Kai's arm.
Hell yeah.
All right. And Kai ends up with a sick tattoo.
Hell yeah, she does.
Wait,
And I'm gonna say the combination of the scenes of the tattooing and all of that. I'm gonna say maybe one happened one day and another happened the second day. So by the time you're done, you've got a few hours before the ship arrives at the planet. You pass them, probably get a little bit of rest until all of a sudden the alarm in the cockpit, the proximity alarm in the cockpit, starts going off. And you know that means you're getting close to the planet and it's time to take control again. Now,
Alright.
when you return to the cockpit, this is what you see. The ship's autopilot is in the process of putting you in orbit of a world covered mostly in blue. Clouds cover vast areas of the open oceans, and on the dark side, you can see the rapid flashing of lightning lancing the sky at a greater frequency than you have ever seen, except in the simulations. You take your seats, I assume, and the ship activates its sensor suite. And this is the portion of the mission where you get a chance to do a sensor sweep of the planet. The sensors have more or less homed in on where the automated distress call keeps projecting from. So you've got roughly 100 square kilometer area that you know you can search.
Okay. Yeah, let's do a sensor sweep.
And for this sensor suite, I will give this to you really quick. You can do a scan on the general area. There is a surface facility that the system has picked up that you can scan as well. And those are the two main points of interest.
Okay. I think I'll start with the general scan.
Okay. Go ahead and roll computer use for me. And this is going to be computer use, I want to say +2, because the ship's computer is going to help you for 2 checks out of this round.
15. Sorry.
I was just gonna. How watertight are these craft? I mean, like are these crafts that can shellcraft can land underwater?
we're currently in space.
Yeah,
Well, yes.
in a pinch, you have somewhere in the literature or somewhere in after mission reports, you have read that these shuttles, they'll float for a little while. They do eventually sink because they're not meant to be underwater, but you have a seal from space. Presumably you have a seal underwater.
Right. Well, the difference is that the pressure's pushing out versus the pressure pushing
Yeah.
in. So
Yeah, these are generally fairly sturdy vessels. So if everything goes wrong, you could potentially plunge into the ocean and be just fine. You just might not be able to take off.
I just want to know if we can go underwater like normal people, or if we have to stay on the surface like
The shuttle
Please
is
finish that sentence.
everyone, like the other folks.
The shuttle is not a submersible. It is a flying craft.
Got it.
We'll be able to
All right.
swim, don't worry.
So Kai,
built for, so not built for our
It's-
variants.
Yeah, your shuttle does not swim.
Got it.
So Kai, it was a grand total of 15 plus the 2.
Yeah.
Okay. That gives you a decent amount. So, first thing you notice is that there is a large cyclone storm bearing down on the signal's origin point. It has high electrical activity and hurricane force winds, which means your approach to the facility is gonna be interesting. You also notice that the facility at the ocean surface is the only solid above the surface structure within 1,000 kilometers. It's also really cold and really wet down there. The average water temperature is around the freezing point of water, so you don't want to be caught in that water without your spacesuit. There is also a great deal of biomass readings in the area around the facility. Aside from that, it seems to be standing. The worsening waves are not harming the facility as far as you can tell.
All right. This looks kind of rough here. How about you fly? I'll sweep. Leaf runs at a much narrower focus sweep.
On the surface facility itself?
Yes.
Okay. And is the doc going to assist, or are you primarily observing and adding your 2 cents worth?
Are there separate bioscanners, or would I have to set, like, is there a console for bioscan? Because I'm looking for life. I'm looking for life forms, but I don't need to.
You would know how to tune the sensors to a bioscan. I think the main thing mechanically that I would be wanting to check is who goes first, because whoever goes first gets the second charge of the computer's bonus that it grants you. It grants you a +2 to 2 people during the round. So there's going to be one person who loses out on that extra bonus.
So.
Got it. Well, I mean, Leaf moved first, so I'm just going to sit down and sit down next to him at the console and wait until he's finished with the sensors so that I can run a biosweep.
Sounds good. All right. Go ahead and roll computer use, Leaf.
Right. And I'm doing structural and signs of what are we looking at?
Yeah, you're just narrowing the scan on the facility itself.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
So 22.
Nice. Okay. That means I get to read all of this stuff for you. You're detecting minimal power from the facility, similar to the readings you remember from Esh before you restarted the AI's systems. It also appears to be the same alien alloy as the facility you've already encountered. You also notice that this facility had a landing pad. However, it appears to have been damaged by what you can only describe as direct hits from something in orbit. It matches patterns that the computer recognizes as battle damage from human history several hundred years earlier. You also notice that there are several large life signs, and this is kind of, I'm going to say, Matthew, this is kind of your influence mixing in here too. You notice several large life signs that appear to be in the water around the facility. And in addition to that, as you continue to narrow the beam of the focus, you notice that there's a faint metal alloy signature beneath the surface about 8 kilometers and 30 kilometers away from this initial facility. It's kind of hazy. There's a lot of water.
Where did you say?
About 8 kilometers and 30 kilometers away from the facility in about opposite directions. It's not perfect. You actually managed to trace them by tracing what appear to be cables and pipes coming from this main facility. That being said, everyone roll spot checks for me.
Hell yeah. Oh no.
Oh dear.
It's not good when the pilot can't see. I rolled a... Oh god, this is when I try to figure out if it's a 6 or a 9.
11.
6. +1, 7. 7-11.
I rolled a 5 plus I have a 2.
Wow, we all can't see.
Okay, I mean,
7,
aside from what I just told you, you don't really notice much of anything different. So
Well, there is a giant storm outside kicking up.
true, there is a giant storm bearing down on the location. So now we're in the approach and landing phase, and I suspect you guys might start talking, and I'm going to try and wrap this up pretty quick here. I suppose you guys start talking about exactly where you want to land, seeing as the main landing pad appears to be completely destroyed. Kai, you think it won't be easy, but you could probably land on what little is left. But that would be, that would be really difficult.
Okay.
Your other option is landing on top of one of the facility's modules, and you do not know what kind of structural integrity those have.
Yeah.
Is this a structure that's sticking up above the water? Like, this is not land, right?
This is not land. This is
Okay.
something that's up on like pylons above the water.
Got it. Okay.
And part of that facility is the landing pad that's destroyed.
Correct.
I don't know what you guys think, but
Your call, Kai.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the landing pad just because I don't want to land on a roof and go straight through the roof.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Training mission all over again.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Here we go. So I'm going to leave this up to you guys. We can... Because it's going to be a whole process getting through the storm and landing.
Yeah.
So if we want to go a little bit longer, we can do that, or we can just pick that up next time. It's up to you.
Let's pause here. I think it's a good cliffhanger of will Kai plunge them into the ocean, or will she be able to land the freaking ship? So
Sounds good.
all right.
Woo.
Well, that is our adventure for today. Yay.
And our question for next time.
Yeah. Will I kill us all?
Right.
But
How will that piloting skill roll go?
yeah. But I think that is about it for today. So thank you guys, everyone, for watching. Thank you to Matthew, Kyle, and Grant for joining me today. Thank you, Grant, for being a wonderful game master, and Matthew and Kyle for being lovely mission companions. As far as it's Friday. As far as next week goes, on Monday I will be back playing. I'm not sure if I'm going to play the Stanley Parable or if I'm going to play a game called An Airport for Aliens Currently Run by Dogs. That was the original plan, but apparently the Stanley Parable has gotten like a new update or something, so I might play that. On Wednesday, Michael will be here and he will have a special guest, Aiden, because I'm going to be at my other job. But they're going to be talking about the Exoplanet conference that Aiden just went to and whatever else you want them to talk about. And then on Friday, we'll be back with more adventures to see if I can land the ship. Woo! Do you guys have any... if you're new here, please follow. If you are so inclined to subscribe, you can do that too. And we have a Discord. The link is in the About page. If you want to watch the last mission... that is also linked in the About page at the Active Galactic channel. And do you guys have any things to leave the stream with?
Not today.
This time.
Not really. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I can tell you, we got a fun story coming up here.
I'm
It's gonna be
Thanks
great.
for having me back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for being back. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Take care.
Bye everyone.